The golden hour, the light, the sun that's casting it is so beautiful right now. And I've been on this road 1,000 times with you before, but it's only this pretty for a little bit every day. And I'm just gonna run this red light with this car, okay? I'll show you my shortcut too on this road. On my Kansai Motor Tours video, I did the same shortcut, but when there's the red light here, I say fuck that. I go over here, and I take the rice field path. And I think the light, yeah, I'm good. But look at this beautiful time to be in Japan, even if it's unbearably hot. So, gonna do some life updates, some big life updates. And I might cut around through some of this because it gets congested up here, and I don't like making vlogs in dense traffic because it's hard to concentrate and it's not fun to watch. My last major update was when I told you I quit my shitty English teaching job. And yeah, I was just determined to make it on my own. So I made up a bunch of flyers and I made a bunch of business cards, and to tell you the truth, my heart really is not into teaching English, but it just seemed like the most viable option. I felt like, you know, even when I was stuck at when I was stuck, well, fuck it, I'll say I was at, no, I'm not gonna say it. So, but even when I was stuck at the place where I was at for 4 years, one of the reasons why I didn't leave, even though it was so shitty, is I just felt like I didn't really have any options, didn't have any marketable skills, so I just kind of just dealt with it and felt like, okay, well, this is the best I can do, so I just stayed there. And nothing really presented itself to me for the 4 years that I was there. But finally I had enough and I wanted some of my dignity back, so I told my boss she could go fuck herself, and I quit teaching English there. But I was like, you know what, I can still teach English here, but and I've been teaching English privately since I've lived here, but I was like, I'm just gonna make a full-time gig out of teaching privately. So I started putting my efforts into that for the first time, and you know, gradually, so beautiful. Oh, look at that. Gradually, you know what? Let's do a U-turn right here. And just look at the sun over these rice fields, because that is gorgeous. I don't know if you can see any of that because the GoPro just eats the sunlight up. One of these ones we went on the CRF before. Yeah, I think it was this one. Yeah, we did this before, but God, look at the light on this. We're in Supermoto trim right now too, so that doesn't stop me. Anyways, yeah, so I worked there and I was doing this. I just kind of felt stuck, and I thought I was. So yeah, sorry, I'm just talking in circles. I'm gonna take some pictures too, if you guys don't mind. That's pretty. Yeah, so I was working there and I was just like, okay, so I'm gonna do my own thing and put my own time into that. And I took a big pay cut at first, but gradually started making some decent money, and just stuff started just falling in my lap. Oh, you quit your job? I've got these classes I want to be taught. Yo, you quit your job? You got time to teach some private English classes? Like, just stuff just like kept falling right into my lap. I like these shadows too. And so after the first 3-4 months, I was making less than I was at my old job, but then after that I started making the same, and then up until recently I was making more money than I had ever made. That was cool. But then a friend of mine texted me. He was like, hey buddy, I got an interesting job offer for you. It's not related to teaching English, and but it's a job where you'd use your English, but you wouldn't be teaching any English. And I was like, that really interested me. The pay wasn't so good, but it was worth it. Just it was worth it just for the non-English teaching part of it. So I was like, just tell me about it. What is it? You don't have to call me. He's like, well, I should probably call you. So I asked him what it was, and he calls me. He's like, this is I don't even want to talk about it right now because it's a weird job. I don't want to make a bad impression on these innocent children. Yeah, so I was like, what's the job? And they're like, well, there's this company in Wakayama that makes and sells adult products and mostly leather bondage products. And I think he was afraid that I was going to find out what it was and then just not be interested in it. But I was like, oh wow, like I became more interested in it after I found out it was kind of some taboo stuff, because it just seems like if you're gonna be at a desk pushing a product, it might as well be an interesting product. So I was like, yeah, so I was like, what's the job? Well, they just need somebody for English support and for working on their English website, and just somebody with, you know, good communication skills in English. So I went there. I had an interview, and it seemed pretty cool, seemed pretty dope. Like I said, pay wasn't good, but just the perks of it being interesting were enough for me. So, and the cool thing is that they wanted a full-time worker, which is kind of a big deal in Japan. It's kind of getting harder and harder to find a good full-time job in Japan. Just like everywhere else in the world, the companies are trying to screw over the worker and just kind of give people minimum hours with minimum benefits. And partially another reason why I quit my shitty English teaching job was because I was coming up on the 5 years that I would have been working there. And it's the law in Japan now that if you work someplace for 5 years, if you want to be made full-time, they have to hire you on. Like, they can't say no about it. And my company was so shitty that I knew that, like, even if I had been doing a good job, which I was doing a good job at the company, that they would, in order to keep me from getting more rights as a full-time worker, they would just fire me and get some fresh face. So I could see that coming from a mile away. So that's another reason why I quit. So to find a job where they want you to be full-time was a big deal for me, because the stability of my family and everything about my future is kind of what freaks me out, you know, the anxiety from all of that. So it was a good thing. So I started and they were really cool. They're really cool, being like also teaching English on the side. But at the same time, I don't have the time to teach all of my classes that I was teaching and to have a full-time job. So I was kind of going here and there, telling some classes that, like, I'm going to be full-time here in about 3 months, because I kind of joined for a trial period. I'm going to be full-time here in 3 months, and after that 3 months, I'm not going to have time to teach this class anymore. So I was kind of quitting some of my English classes that I didn't have time for. And I've been teaching this business, and I guess we could talk about, we can make a whole different video about the bondage job, but I'm just going to skip over that for the sake of making this video a reasonable length. It was a fun job, though. We'll talk about it later for sure. So yeah, so I was teaching business English at this other company, and this company that makes wetsuit material. Like they don't make wetsuits, but they make the material for it, textiles. And I've been teaching business English there for about 6 months or so. And I told them, hey, sorry, like I really like teaching you guys here, but I gotta quit because I'm gonna be getting full. They want me to be Seishain at this job pretty soon. And they must have liked me a lot, because they said, no, don't work over there. We want you to work at our company instead. We are looking to expand into international markets, and it would be nice to have somebody like you in our pocket. And I was like, because this other job, the bondage place, was, of course, it was a job in Japan, but it was basically, I could use English in the office place and English for my job, so it wasn't an issue. And you guys know I speak Japanese, but my Japanese isn't very good. So I was like, nah, you know, that's really nice of you guys, but I really appreciate the offer, but my Japanese is crap, and I think I just get in the way with you guys. But it did feel good. I really was like, well, it feels cool to be wanted, because I went 4 years. I went 4 years feeling like I was stuck, and then pretty soon I had a different English school. You know, way better English school reaching out to me. It was better pay and just better management, and they wanted me to work there full time, kind of to do more of a management thing there. But I was kind of just wanted to take a break from English after what I'd just been done. Good. It's not like I'm going to tell you the name of the school, but it was a really good foreign-owned English school. But I turned that down. I got the bondage offer, which I was going to take up. Then I got this offer to work at this wetsuit place, and then I got just these little odd jobs falling from left and right. So for 4 years, just feeling completely stuck, and then pretty soon I was just raining job offers on me. I don't know what even happened. I don't believe in like good things come to good people. I wish that was true. I think I made a video about that, but if it just doesn't happen, you know, bad things happen to good people, good things happen to bad people, you know. I just felt like I got really lucky, but I kind of, yeah. So I said, no, my Jap is crap. I'm gonna get in your way, and they just kept insisting. So I said, well, you guys, if you guys really want me to work here, then you should make me an offer, and if it's good enough, it's a good enough offer, then we can do an interview and we can kind of get into the nitty-gritty of it. So they gave me an offer, and the salary was better than the bondage place, the monthly salary. And then there was every year they have a bonus, 2 bonuses, and each bonus is 1.8 times your salary. So basically, like, let's just call it 2 times the salary. So basically you work there 12 months, but you get paid for 16 months worth of work, basically. So, and that's with the offer that was better than, and that's with the salary that was better than the bondage place. So I was like, I really loved working at the bondage place because it was just a fun environment, fun place to work. But you can't say no to a company that's going to pay you well, and also a company that just has been around for years and years. You know that it's going to be around for a lot longer. So I decided to join the wetsuit place. And honestly, I'm really worried about it because I know that the manager who I was teaching knows my Japanese ability, but I really just hope that he doesn't get disappointed when he you know, on a day-to-day basis he sees how I flail. But I feel like I really, come on buddy, I feel like I really stumbled into a really great opportunity. I'm not worried about my future as much anymore. The thing I am worried about is the work-life balance. I think it's going to be pretty crap, honestly. Going to be working on some Saturdays, going to be working 9-10 hour days in the regular, it looks like, but the pay is good, and I can buy a house now. So I'm going to start that in September. It's like July 20 something now, and next month I'm going back to America for 10 days, back to my hometown. Good time to go while between jobs, and yeah, I'm gonna start a new chapter of my life pretty soon. Kansai Moto Tours, looks like it will still be possible to do that, but with a lot more limitations. I can make a video about that as well. That kind of bums me out. Not gonna be as easy to get the bike out to customers as it was before, but You can't have your cake and eat it too. Or I should say, every rose has its thorn. Cue soundtrack.
Every rose has its thorn. Just like it.
So yeah, finally got out of the English teaching game, and I'm actually gonna keep teaching some students because there's this one girl I've taught since she was 5 years old, and she's maybe 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old. She's 11 years old now. She's conversational, and she's just like my pride and joy as far as students go, and I'm gonna keep teaching her as long as I can, as long as they'll have me. Became really close friends with her family, consider them like family now, so there's a couple students I'm gonna keep teaching, but for the most part it's just gonna be Japanese office life and factory life, and I'm gonna be going on eventually. So basically what the company said, they're like, we know that you're crap right now, and you're not really worth much to us right now, but within the next 5 years or so, if you can just kind of keep trying hard for 5 years, we're confident that you can learn how to do this job. So they're going to be like really patient with me until I can improve my Japanese skills and improve whatever skills I need to work there, which is crazy. I've never heard of an offer like that, especially in Japan, because usually you have to have like Japanese N2 or N1 level ability to get a non-English teaching job in Japan, but this is a fantastic opportunity that just fell in my lap, so I'm going to take advantage of it. And it looks pretty cool because since they want me to be taking more of an international role with their company and handling a lot of the English stuff, it looks like eventually, once I get my skills up to snuff, I'm going to be going on some international business trips, primarily to Australia and Thailand. Which is cool. I'm sure I'm going to hate it eventually. I'm sure eventually I'm going to be complaining like, I gotta go to Australia. But right now it's just like, oh yeah, Australia baby, Gold Coast baby. And since I've been teaching English at the company for a while now, I'm already familiar with a lot of my coworkers. And it looks like they want to invest in me because there's a lot of the people at the company are pretty old. The average age is like, I don't want to, probably 50, 55. And one of the reasons why they want to hire me too is they just want to breathe some new wind into the sails of the company with a young person with a kind of bright personality, it sounded like. So I'm kind of worried about making a bad impression, being the loud, obnoxious American, but at the same time, it sounds like that's kind of what they want me to be, to kind of just invigorate the company a bit, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, it's getting a little bit dark, and I've said what I need to say. Feeling a little bit better about my life, getting excited for my trip back to America, first time back to my hometown since I moved here, and yeah, there's a lot of bridges that are going to need to be crossed, but we'll get to them when we get to them. So I'm going to let you guys go. Have a good night. Thanks for caring about whatever I have to say.
Every rose has its thorn.